Hey y'all, welcome back. If it's your first time here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So I'm not sure where this video is starting, so I just wanted to make an intro. Let me get out the mirror, kind of tell y'all what's going on. So this vlog was me going to pick up Nasia from RDU and just how I kind of made a day of it by going to Cheesecake Factory. I wanted to kind of have more time to just chill, but in this video you'll see why I didn't necessarily have the time to chill and how stressed out I was because she was traveling by herself. So if you are curious about all of that, then just keep watching. Hey y'all, so I am here in Raleigh and I'm up here to get Nasia. She's back from her summer vacation from Florida and Texas. She was in Texas with her dad, his wife. So y'all, I came up here early because apparently with an unaccompanied minor situation, you have to arrive at the airport like an hour or two early. It's like a 50-minute wait for Cheesecake Factory. So this is where I am. I thought I would come talk to you guys. So I'll check back in. I am so hot, so damn hot. I couldn't even get comfortable in Cheesecake Factory. It was so damn hot. Baby. It wasn't no hour or two ago because you was on the plane. Yeah. Okay, y'all, so we need to get into what happened when I went to grab Nasia from the airport. All right, y'all, so I feel like I'm reliving it again. So, like I said, Nasia was in Florida and she was in Texas. She was gone for like a whole month, like 30 days, just about 28 days. So when she was going from Florida to Texas, because she went to Universal Studios, and then from there, her dad lives in Texas, so they got a flight from Orlando to Texas. So at that time, they told me that that flight was Delta, and they had me sign up for this thing online, and so she could get Delta points, all this stuff, and they had, you know, all this stuff. So I'm thinking, oh, they strictly fly Delta. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to get her from RDU. That's like an hour and 30 minutes from me where I live. But I was told the day before I had to pick her up that I needed to be there 1 to 2 hours early. And I remember that standing out because me and them, we were chatting back and forth. I was like, is that a rule or something? Because I've never had my daughter fly by herself, and I've never known that that was a rule to pick up people as well. So I read the little website. Okay, that's the thing. So I get there early. Like, I made a day of it. I went to Cheesecake Factory, all the thing. Y'all saw that. So I show up to the Delta side, which is a whole different terminal. Terminal 1, 2, whatever. Totally ends of the airport. So I had this lady help me from the lobby, and we were getting along really good, and she was like, oh yeah, you can use the USO and all that because I'm prior military. So I'm like, okay. So she couldn't find the confirmation number, so I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't have the full itinerary. Nobody ever sent me the full itinerary, so I have literally a screenshot of some of the information, but none of the information says Delta. I mean, Delta, Southwest, nothing. So this was, you know, I'm going off assumptions. And so I start contacting them. I'm like, hey, I can't get a hold of anybody. They can't find a confirmation number. I don't have the full itinerary. And so I had already asked, though, before this. I'm like, what all do I need to pick her up? And they told me I just needed my ID. But the things that I was reading online, it was like not necessarily saying just bring your ID. It was saying like you had to have some other stuff. I can't remember, like numbers and stuff. But I had that screenshot, so I was like, I should be straight. And I'm thinking, y'all gonna pick up the phone if I have any issues, because you literally have, it wasn't just her, it was her stepbrother. They were traveling together. So I'm like, okay, ain't nobody finna make no major moves right now because these kids is still trying to get from point A to point B. Now, I was told that the brother was very knowledgeable about flying. He's been flying since he was 5 years old by himself. You know, being in the military, sometimes these kids have to do and go places that just everyday civilian kids just don't have to go. And sometimes when you're dual military, which is both parties are in the military, sometimes you can't be there. You just cannot be there. It just does not work that way. So I was very comfortable with that idea. He's a little bit older than her, and that made me feel comfortable, so I wasn't worried. But then when the lady couldn't find the information and I started reaching out, and his phone, he's not answering it. Her phone, stepmom's phone, notifications silenced. They've been silenced. Like, she's pregnant. She probably just, you know, don't be having her phone on like that during the day. And nobody's answering her phone. Her phone is going straight to voicemail, because obviously if you're not on a favorites list, them calls is going to go straight to voicemail when you have that turned on. So I'm like getting frustrated now, because I'm like, look, I'm here early. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Where are y'all at? So it comes to my attention, like, there's this little piece of the email that is actually orange. And so I'm like, this looks like she, and then the ticket clerk, she was also like, are you sure this is not Southwest? And I'm like, let me just go over there. Like, I really didn't feel like I had time to like play around. So I just went ahead over there, which she was like, you have two options. You can either go all the way, you can walk all the way back out, which is hot as hell. It was like almost 100 degrees this day. Or you could just take the escalator and take a shuttle over. So that's what I did. And I get to the other side. Honey, it is a whole different world over there in Southwest. I used to fly Southwest all the time, but looking at it now, I haven't flown Southwest in a long time. I really didn't even know Southwest was still an airline. Which, no shade, I just didn't know. But I get over there and it looks like, you know how Nene is like the ghetto? That's what it looked like. And it was so many people in line. Like, when I'm over there in Delta, I skipped everything. I didn't have to go to a kiosk, nothing. That lady walked up to me. She was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Walked me straight to the desk. No. Southwest, there was a long line. Like, you had to check bags and stuff. I'm like, I don't have any check bags. I tried to use the kiosk by myself, and it didn't have the option to like get a gate pass. So I'm like, damn, I'm about to have to stand in this line. And this puts me not anymore, like, I'm still kind of early, but I'm kind of like also like right on time. Like, I probably had an hour to spare or something like that. So I'm like, if I stand in this line, that's cutting it too close. And then if I have to go through TSA, because I didn't know how this worked. So I didn't know if you just, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess it's safe to say that every single person that goes to the airport goes through TSA, except if you have like pre-check or clear or something like that. But I'm thinking, I'm not flying. I don't have anything. Why would I need to get checked? But whatever. So I stand in the priority line because there was nobody in that line. I'm like, okay, at least I can probably try to yell and ask a question from back here. So this lady, this like Jamaican black lady or something, she calls me up. She's like, I told her what's going on. I'm like, I just have a question. She's like, that line, this is not a special scenario. You don't need to be standing in that line. You're supposed to be back there with them. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I just didn't know. And so she ended up like, that's my thing. Like, if you're going to be rude and send me to the other line. Don't be rude and then also be helping me. Like, girl, so she's doing my stuff or whatever, and so when she gets done, I race over to TSA, go through that. I'm like, it was not that many people over there, so that was fine. So I had to take my shoes off and stuff. Now, when I'm going to pick up my things at the end, because I did have my laptop, I did have certain things because I thought I was going to be able to get some work done while I was there. But so people's stuff is coming out. There were some pilots standing there, and they were just like, and when I tell you, they took their sweet time getting their stuff. But I'm like, who am I? I'm not finna rush no pilot. I'm just not about to do it. I'm just about to stand here. Like, he stood there like no regard for nobody. It was fine with me because I'm like, I'm not finna say nothing to a pilot. So when he gets out of the way, I walk up. So I'm very close to the conveyor belt where the stuff is coming out. It doesn't necessarily mean my stuff is up next. It just means I'm the one who stood closer to the line. So there was almost like no space in between me and the conveyor belt. So my stuff was coming up probably like 2 more things in front of me, and my stuff was going to come out. This man walks around me, walks right in front of me, and says, he doesn't say anything. I'm like, so I forgot a part. So there was this black lady who we were going through TSA line at the same time. And when I got through, she was like, now how did you get in front of me? And I was like, girl, you can go in front of me. Honestly, at this point, I was so stressed out with nobody answering the phone, me not knowing where I'm supposed to be. That's just not how I do things. So I was already so stressed. I was like, girl, you can go in front of me. It's really, she was like, no, I'm just playing. And I kind of like vented to her a little bit, which is another thing I don't do. But I was just like, I'm just so stressed out. She's like, what's going on? We're like, I'm trying to get my kid. She's like, how'd you get separated from your kid? And I'm like, so we had that little convo. And then when I was waiting for my stuff, I turned to her because she's behind me. And I'm just like, so you saw that, right? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you see how they just have no regard? Like, I'm just not standing here. And that was passive aggressive of me. So the man had every right to, if he wanted to say something to me, he could have, because that was passive aggressive of me. But typically when those type of things happen and someone else is in the wrong, they usually don't be saying nothing. But he was like, and it took him a minute, because I turned completely around and I'm talking to her. And I could have been talking about anything or anyone, but he knew what he did, because he was like, well, you shouldn't have been rushing, you should have been on time. And I was like, I was so like, I was like, do not talk to me, sir, because I just felt, I was so mad already and stressed that I was about to really just like, let's go. If we were anywhere else, I would have really just gave it to him. But I was like, no, y'all not finna do this to me today. Not only am I trying to get my kid and don't know where she's at, but now I'm about to be on the no-fly list. No. And I just was like, I turned all the way around. I was like, sir, do not talk to me. I am not talking to you. And I had my hands up just like that, because if somebody were to come over there and if I had started going in on him, like, first of all, you don't even know what I got going on. I'm not late because I need to catch a plane. I'm not late because I wasn't where I was supposed to be by my own accord. Actually, no. And I was just like, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's literally not even worth it for me to even try to explain, because that man don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. He was with someone. I'm guessing it was his wife. She did not speak English. I'm guessing she was from somewhere else. And I don't know. But the lady was just like she ain't want no parts. Like, she definitely didn't want no parts. And I was just playing it like, I'm not going out like this. Like, I could just see everything that was like about to happen, and I just said, no, I'm not going out like this. So I just let it go, got my stuff, went upstairs, and I was so heated. I was so heated. Like, I was so pissed. I called my mom and I just vented, because like I really don't like being in those type of scenarios. You know what I mean? I don't like it, because I know how people will perceive it. I got these long ass braids in my hair. Like, I already know. Like, I'm mindful of all of that. So, and then from there, I just sat in the little restaurant right next to her gate and had a cocktail and just sat there for like an hour and just calmed down. Like, I was almost on the verge of tears. I was so irritated at like so many things that happened in such a small window. And then the text that I got from her dad, it was just like, she's fine, she's still on the plane. Like, child, y'all stressing me out. Out. Like, what? I know she's still on the plane, but I need to get her. So, and me and him don't even be having issues. It's just in situations like this, I'm just like, man, can we just all be on the same accord, please? Please. Before they put me in cuffs. Oh, I was supposed to. But that's basically what happened. That story took 14 minutes to tell. So I should end the video here because I don't want it to be too long. But if you made it to the end, I appreciate you for listening, and let me know if you've ever had an unaccompanied minor travel before, and if y'all want like a fuller breakdown of kind of what you need to do or have, I can make a video like that. But all that information is honestly online. So yeah,